What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what's moving it today, and what shorts are up to. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up 3.98%. Still, a lot of people are just kind of holding their breath for NIO Day. Some people think it's going to be a good catalyst, others don't. Based on today, it seems to be moving higher. And I get it. It's only up 17 cents, so nothing really crazy. But NIO has been on quite the downtrend. So last couple of days, it recovering goes to show that the market is seeing some sense of optimism. $4.61 the high, $4.42 the low, 27.6 million for volume, 55.5 is the average. So instantly, that's already something interesting, similar to what happened yesterday. Very little volume, which normally makes it very easy for shorts to manipulate, but shorts as of right now are returning, similar to yesterday, 988,000 shares, 13.67% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 182.58 million shares overall are being shorted. And then cost to borrow average is 5.03. Utilization is 91.77. No actual news associated to NIO itself, no SEC filings. You do see a little bit of an increase in algorithmic trading, but algos are fairly positive for today. So out of the States, they did have PCE, came in better than anticipated. So the market seems to be in a sense of euphoria a little bit. So again, that's helping push it higher a little bit. But as of today, only one transaction on the secondary market above $100,000. So I feel like if NIO does put out some good PR, as I kind of mentioned yesterday, then you could see a rush of value investors getting in, or bigger institutions or something along those lines, because they have been, for all extensive purposes, rather dormant over the last little bit. But moving over to options, this is where you're seeing some abnormal activity. So 3.37 million in calls, 1.45 million in puts, 54% of all the options being done are optimistic in nature. You're seeing a lot of good spikes right here. So that clearly is big money, even though they're not necessarily buying the stock itself. There is a lot of big money getting in through options. And just generally looking here, a little bit higher than the last several trading days. So 4.8 million is the premium total right now. Still another roughly an hour left in the trading day. But of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above 550 for next week. So encumbering clearly good NIO Day results, or I guess marketing of sorts, and then as well clearly good week by week numbers as well. So yeah, a lot more upside is anticipated. The bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly 450 to 5. So in all honesty, the bears aren't really doing anything. Even the bears somewhat are in agreement that there is more upside. So that's how I interpret this data, of course. And with today being Friday, just take note of some of the strong support and resistance points. So 16,000 at that 4, 18,000 at that 450, and then 93,000 at the 5. So I don't think 5 is going to be coming to fruition as of today, but I feel it will be able to close above 450. So that does mean roughly around 3 million shares does need to be covered by market makers come next week. So that could give it a nice boost higher. First thing. Aside from that though, $4.57, it is trading between these 2 points. So this pivot and this S1. So 443 is going to be a strong support. Kind of bounce off that general area for the low being 442. Flip side, 477 and then $5.12 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. On the actual chart itself, let's kind of pull this up. So as of right now, it is above the ALMA. So it's not making significant progress where you're going to see instantly the $5 range, but it's at least making the foundation for it to essentially move higher. And in NIO's case, very unique circumstance. You have the 50, 100, and 200 day moving average pretty much within a 10-cent range. So very strong resistance. But if NIO, again with a good catalyst, it does get a good sense of buying and it's able to break above that, then yeah, you are going to see a very significant push higher. So that's, I think, what the options activity is anticipating. And one thing I have brought up in the past is this super trend. So if it is able to get above that $5.23 mark right here, where this kind of maroon line or whatever it is, where that is, then you'll have algorithms really buying NIO. And in the past, when it does break above that, you see significant gains. So I think today and yesterday are kind of a move in the right direction. It just will all come down to how big of a success the market does see, the launch being NIO Day, and then of course a couple catalysts for next week. So I believe China does have some pretty good data coming out as well next week, so that could really stimulate some buying within Chinese stocks. So we'll just have to wait and see, but I think NIO out of any time shows a good sense of kind of wanting to move higher. So let me know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? No new analyst ratings. One thing that because of their NIO Day could bring is new analyst ratings. At least it did in Onvo's case, but these are all the latest analyst ratings. Last one came out fairly optimistic, $4.50 hold. Bernstein, Eunice, who has a 65% success rating. Then aside from that, you had 750, 890, so fairly bullish ratings as of late. As a consensus of all the ratings, $5.99 is that price target, and that does represent a 31.07% upside. So you never know what could come down the pipeline. Let me know your viewpoint on that. And then on a side note though, if you're wanting all this information to be completely free, so ownership, forecasts, ratings, everything under the sun that I typically like to look at, you can get that free through IBKR, link in the description below and also the comments. So let me know your thoughts on that. And then one final thing I wanted to share with you, pop over to my Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers. With that said, appreciate all of you watching.